What the nation? Lord Lingo is some talk teacher to Guinea, Sanji Gundi, Pardon Lama Taman, Guru Mochila Sawata Prashas.
So, in this way, with the one's that mind and whole complete, body, speech, mind, and then just having the devotion, inclination, and doing this supplication to the root Guru, who is the just inseparable in nature, Guru Padmasambhava, contents of the all the times Buddha. And then we every morning receiving the Bodhisattva vow. And then as one received the Bodhisattva vow, one have to think that one have really received the Bodhisattva vow, and also that oneself is admitted in the noble family of the Bodhisattvas. And once you admitted in the Bodhisattva family, not necessarily you have to have that kind of ego. So in this way, one have to just, what one really have to train or think is that, oh no, I am just already admitted in the Bodhisattva family, and anytime whatever sort of afflicted mind arises within one's mind stream, then one have to think that, oh, I'm a Bodhisattva, I should not even just give rise to this kind of afflicted mind, and then try to just tame oneself. So even that when somebody just creates all this kind of problem to give rise to all this kind of afflicted mind, then the moment one have to think, oh, I'm a Bodhisattva, and if I just give rise to this afflicted mind, I may just break my Bodhisattva vows and degenerate my Bodhisattva practice. I should not be just thinking in this way, and one have to just try to understand and then train oneself. In that way, one can just really get educated in the Bodhisattva path. And when we arise any kind of anger, then that detroit the Bodhisattva path, and ultimately one will fall down into 3 lower realms. So the other side also just got so afflicted, and then oneself also just giving rise to all these negative emotions, and then that way both sides just going to experience lots of suffering. And just being showing anger, you cannot just really subdue the other one. And if other one just angry to you, but still you practice on patience and generate compassion and bodhicitta, and if one can just maintain it in that way, then oneself is also just accumulating lots of merit, and at the same time one can just develop one's bodhisattva path. And that getting stabilized the bodhisattva vow or bodhicitta in one's mind stream, that way one can also get purified many of the obscurations. And just to purify the karmic obscurations and obscurations, that the bodhicitta is just the best antidote. So to experience something good health and so forth in this lifetime, and also that something could become a path of liberation even in the next, that everything depends upon how much you could generate the bodhicitta. And if one could not generate the bodhicitta, then anything, whatever we do, not necessarily it becomes just effective or powerful. So even whether we just practice on generosity, offering things to others, or making offering to the triple gems and so forth, whatever sorts of spiritual activity we do, if we just generate bodhicitta, then naturally it becomes more effective and accumulating more merit. So even one maybe just become very, very generous, that one could give all this kind of offering of $1 million, or making all different kinds of offerings to triple gem. But if one could not really generate the bodhicitta, then not necessarily it becomes just something very effective or powerful. Before, there once in a time that there was a lama just who is also very wealthy. Then the other side, there is one lama who is just just kind of poor, but he is very humble, and but just have lots of practice on bodhicitta. So most of the lamas usually that they do a kind of sur, which is meant by smoke offering in the evenings. So that both the lama, they were also just doing that sur that smoke offering. Sur de la ya kanchu lama kando chushon la jeba dene Saint Tonji le Jimba Shepherd the Hibo Ling Pardik Nekan Champion Tonji Chile then Jimba Gond de Badawaji then Togu. So that sur, that kind of a smoke offering, in which that there is the whole complete practice of making all different kinds of offering to the all the Buddha Dharma Sangha, and then the three root deities, and then also making that smoke offering to all sentient beings, and beside that those beings who are just wandering in the intermediate stage and who just died in that way, for all of them just making that kind of just offering. Din Java de Zone, decent Lama Yeran Tonji Tuni, Kando Chishon Tonji Turan Kong, Chile Drup. We took the Saint Tonji, Tena Tonji, Surgeon
Chepa, Zimba, Nongwatan, Ze, Kulon, Shipon, Sobaro, then a lazy did it, tattoo songe go to be ched, and Moamalong.
So, in this sur offering, where you make all this offering to, all the gurus and the meditational deities, yitams, and then all the daginis, and then also the Dhamma protectors, that all different levels of Dhamma protect making all this kind of offering, they just pleased with your offering, and then also you make offering to all the 6 realms, sentient beings, where you just being practicing on generosity, making those offering, where you just repay back all the karmic debts, and then also other beings through which that all those merit also just get dedicated to all sentient being to achieve that kind of actual benefits.
Karsong Arsong Lasoba, Gay on the Garena, so the men of sound, the T2, Duategi, can't church it didn't do it, Sema, Reki now, what need to count on the chapter, and part to Lemogiaris.
So this is smoke offering in which you burn, 3 kinds of sweets and 3 kinds of whites, and that whatever that smoke, just wherever it goes and wherever it is spread, whoever just get in touch with the, that smoke through which that been dedicated for them, that they could just accomplish with, everything.
Then, Lama slanted tongue in Michiaris.
And then there was one guy, who can see like the gods or the ghosts.
Ti Lama Banjari Chembo Yabategi, Pemasiki, Senandra Menda Kasamangason, Pemas and Morchembo, Toape Chembo Selete, Topper Sursungiaris.
So that Lama who is just very wealthy, he just have all different varieties of, just substances making offering, and all those, just 3 whites and 3, sweets in that day, and also make a very huge, smoke because of so many substances were burned.
Planted in the Momboji, Momboji, Roller, Tongue, Mother, death on a month.
So that guy who could see that spirits, then he just see that not many of those, like gods or spirits or those ghosts or whatever, they are not really going there that much.
La Pajani, Mortia, the La Pajani,
and most of all those, spirits and gods or whatever, all those, just going to the other side of that, mountain. And there, when just, he looks that there is a Lama who have a small container and just making a small smoke.
I tell it, let me to say on the land, Tanti Lumba, Zanli go out of the land, Tanti Gillip, Gon, then the Conga got the tops in Rogiaris.
So it is because of that Lama who just, like through his generating of, his mind, and that way he make all this kind of offering, that almost that, whole world is filled up with all these, beings, spirits and gods and whoever, and then they receive whatever they really need, and then they just, returns back.
The cocaine at the Saturday, you get no Lama Pizza Chimogile, could the tongue Churchin Lama Tide in Borchimo City, Parotan men of fire and dated of Chimindu, the London and Town Pet, the Lucian Rogan, the carrier is curious.
So he was just kind of, wondering that, the other Lama have so many different kinds of offering, and just, just making a great deal of with all those, just offering, and the other side, have just tiny, offering, but most of the, spirits are just going only towards that, other Lama. So what is all about that? And then his Lama just told him, it is just depending upon whether one has the bodhicitta or not.
Lama Tele Conri Tonto, they said, Najar Chembo again,
The other Lama who have, just lots of wealth, he just do, lots of offering, but where it is involved so much with his, ego and pride. So his, bodhicitta is just tiny, and then the ego is very big. And because of that, these other beings, they could not really get, anything actually from that way. Lama Tidel, Banjalon, Menao, Masis, Yempe, Jonju, send the judge, Digan, Masim Shepherd, one of the top chambers, Flandre, also of Canregi, now, Tanti, Yitz, Mandada, and Roba, the Coronso, the younger, they show you say you make a cherry. So the other Lama just even he don't have so much wealth or just all those great deal of varieties of substances, but because of his just bodhicitta, he really just sincerely make all this kind of offering, all those spirits. According to that, he just generate and visualize through which that all the spirits and gods and whoever just they could get everything whatever they wish. So it depends upon the bodhicitta. Then, so you send the Tidon number also that that's the Lamne sense of the man, the Mamma the Conto and Damada, Lamne sense of the daily sound not on the Judge, Niba, Church, and Ogre, and the John to send the Junti Aboshes. So in this way, that the bodhicitta is very important, that although just maybe we are many different levels of mind, but somehow just entering into the bodhisattva path, and in this way as one just constantly thinking about to generate bodhicitta and practice on it, then slowly it will just really develop, and then one could have all these qualities. Jagarne Jarvo Sajarla. That Jarvo Tangi Tabat and Chika Sajarin Sanjay Rinpoche Pardo, Sanjay Kosu Chevale, Dan on Nazat. And then, just before even Buddha's time, that there was a just king, maybe it is the Segel, and then he just make all this kind of offering, like just the foods and then clothing, all the robes, and then the mattresses and so forth for a long period of time. Sanjay Kadina did Sando Jarote Don Cordon Dabo Cordon Tebaji, me gelid, more the only on the Shaker, they don't get it. So after receiving all those offering and or like finishing those, just food, then every time just Buddha and all this Sangha, they do just, dedicate all those merit just to even expressing their names. Tomo Banjo Mimidan Sonja Kojel Javin Chepat Hiela Susina Pun, Moron, Pesaj Yabo Neger, Mope Gagi. And then there was also one, old lady who just is a baker, and she just also every time come there, because the king just make all this kind of foods and so forth, all this offering to Buddha and his Sangha, and then she also can receive lots of food, so she also feel, just very happy there. Gemo sound Jarvo Sergeant Bem, no son of Chembosan and Data Jarvo Jelin, the Degile, Colmobon and Sanji Cheperton, and the Chile, and Sanya Puji, Coson of Chemon, and it. Tamaban on this son of Chembo Candation on Jeresa, and Mope Chepa Sangelis, Kurtisheva Telemorangi and Bemasi, Gave Jitu on Chembo Cheveres. So then that old, just woman, she was also thinking, oh, this, king, just in his previous lifetime, he have accumulated so much merit, and then this lifetime born as a king, and he could have all this wealth to make all this offering to Buddha and all his, Sangha followers. And then not only that, this lifetime he's accumulating so much merit in this way, and then in the future, in the next lifetime also, he could have all this kind of wealth. And he's just, having those wealth and making all this kind of offering, utilizing in a just a very positive way. And she have so much just rejoice over whatever that king does on that. So she, with her pure intention, she did that kind of rejoice over the accumulation merit by the king, and she also could accumulate lots of merit. And then one day the Shakyamuni Buddha just asked the king, whether I have to dedicate the merit to you or somebody who have more accumulation of merit.
So
the king thought that, oh, just I am the one who is just accumulating most merit and just doing all this, just purification, and the one who have the greatest accumulation of merit must be me. And then thinking in that way, and then he just requested Buddha, okay, you can just dedicate to that, who have the greatest accumulation of merit. And then the Buddha just with the expressing that all lady's name, and then just dedicated. And that Buddha did maybe 2-3 days in that way. And then, when that is happening, then the king and the ministers, they all are just kind of like really frustrated and just worried, and they really don't feel just happy. And then they had a just meeting what we can do.
Sony Gelatum, Mombo ma po, the Gemol Lamage, they do the shape part tiny tray, and they say on a pancreas, they call it 20 days.
So then they were just kind of like discussing, it is maybe because that she is, having rejoiced over all this, accumulation merit by the king, and just she been doing lots of, kind of very positive, aspiration prayer. So that is why, she looks like they have, so much merit. So now, tomorrow we will just, just let her go away, and just, the foods not, just don't give too much to her, and then, scatter to, other place, and then if we chase her away, that may be just, better.
And they said, Sanjay Hoa said, Jarvis male going Magamo meeting, Mojan Messolis.
And then the next day they did, same thing, that kind of like chasing her away and not giving food, and then, just creating problem. Then she becomes so angry, and because of that, then she don't have much accumulation. And then again, Buddha dedicated to all the, merit to Buddha, that king.
When the Congress had long, then it's son of Tanjimanyam Dogeros.
So that is how, just giving rise to that anger, how, just you can degenerate or detract all your just, merit in a just a very easy way.
Kalamubaraz, Gabo Yedi, Jarbo was son of Chesi Moron, Lady Togioris.
And when she just, received all this food and having, great rejoice over that, she could even just accumulate more merit than the king. And when one just give rise to this anger, then all the merits are kind of diminished.
Dene do rese jundu di don namba kundu kontro kase na ponto baji. Yele tsito ke ya. Mele shende je ya. Dena kase na pa mega she tu gres.
So it is something in that way. So every time just try to train oneself, not give rise to anger and hatred, and not to just kind of insult, and especially not use all this kind of harsh word to point it out somebody's fault.
Yejong ji chu yedong demba hi hi tora ya bu shene toala la mtu hiewa la me tsong toala la tsong mtu la so ba yelong chu chu yedong demba jendu te rong so de la ten tu ji ke chen bo.
So that the four dharmas of the bhikshus, that which explains that when somebody is angry to you, not showing that anger, and when somebody just scold you and not just scolding back, and when somebody just insult you, not just doing the same thing back, and somebody just kind of like a beat you, then also not just doing that same action, and try to maintain the humble and simplicity where one could subdue and tame one's mind, and that every time try to just maintain that kind of practice.
Mele po menga la menga lu se jere de dan la janjur tonjur mo bo sanon dia pegres.
But in the worldly sense, that is sometimes when you could not kind of express back, people may say, "Oh, you are just coward, and you really could not do anything." But in a spiritual way, if you could maintain that way, one can just accumulate 100 million times more accumulation of merit. And in case one give rise to anger, and then kind of like a just revenging back, and then whatever merit we have, it instantly just got diminished. So if we think of that, this present lifetimes of small tiny benefit, or that fame, or just that in the future many lifetimes and ultimate liberation benefit, if we just see which we want to make choice, then we can understand. So the difference is like a sky and earth, or like a ocean and the puddle water.
Oh yeah, that me say
So today also there is no anybody's teaching or instruction. So you can just carry through your own individual practices, just how much you can do.
Oh yeah, thank you.